Good morning. This is Ann Goyer, CCAI's Executive Director, and we're back with another episode of Meet the Staff. You've had a chance to meet a few of our staff, and we want to give you a chance to meet the rest of them. This morning, we're here with Bruce Bryan. Good morning, Bruce.
Hi, Ann.
And Bruce is responsible for all the education development and chapter development and chapter presidents initiatives. So we're going to go through and see what Bruce does for CCAI today. Bruce, you've been involved in the finishing industry a long time, as I have. In fact, I think we've known each other almost most of those years. Let's not talk about how long that is. Can you tell me how you became involved in finishing in your early career?
Sure. So I've been in the industry 42 years. And back in 1978, I have a finance degree from the University of Illinois, and it's commercial banking and financial analysis, which doesn't really tie in with finishing. But I was out of work and I needed a job, and I got an entry-level accounting position at Glidden Coatings and Resins, which actually had a plant here in Chicago. So that was my first start, was kind of figuring out how much paint went on the inside of a Coors can of beer, and we were shipping 7 tanker cars Coors, and I was trying to figure out how many cans of beer that was. And that was back in the day when they weren't shipping beer east of the Mississippi.
Wow.
So anyway, that's where I started, was at Glidden, and then from there it's been a great 42-year career.
Wow. So it's a little bit longer than me. So you started when you were like 10, right?
Yeah.
Tell us how long you've been on the CCAI staff.
Well, I've been on staff for CCAI almost 5 years. It'll be 5 years next February. But I've actually been involved with CCAI for a really, really long time. It was actually through CCAI that I met Don Tyler, who brought me into the powder side of the business. And I was selling application equipment recovery booths for Volstatic, and I started there in 1983. That's when we would have met. So that goes back to 83. So I had 5 years with Glidden before getting involved in powder coating. And then through the powder coating, I really enjoyed that because of the aspects of powder coatings. And it was interesting also because my very first public speaking opportunity was at the West Michigan chapter. Bob Warren had invited me to come up and talk about powder coating. And I remember I was terrified. I almost didn't even want to go and do it, but I did. And it's been great. I've been involved with CCAI in a variety of different ways, both the local chapter, on the national board, served as president for 2 years. It's been great.
Awesome. That's terrific. And thank you so much for all those years of going out and speaking to our chapters, because I know you've always done a great job with that. So your years in the industry and your knowledge base of finishing has certainly made you the perfect person to serve in the role you have with CCAI. Can you describe your responsibilities today with CCAI?
It really is a good fit, just because of my background, and I served with a variety of different companies, so it gave me some pretty good experience across the board. One of the things I do is I work with Andy in regards to boost sales for FabTech, and that's both for Mexico, Canada, and the US. And so clearly those are companies that I've known over the years, so it was a good fit with them. I work with you and Kelly on the conference programming to help pull that together, and it's been fun to see that to come together. And I know I'm biased, but the quality of the conference programs we put together for the US shows is exceptional. I'm involved with our chapters, as you mentioned. So I work with the chapter presidents on a quarterly conference call, and I help with startups of new chapters. We have 14 chapters active right now, and just support them any way I can. I support our corporate and custom coder members. Always want to make sure our corporate members are taking advantage of all the benefits that are offered to them, and work with the custom coders as well on a variety of programs, including peer groups. And then in the last probably year, we've really gotten involved with the industrial finishing curriculum. And it's a great program because it touches in several areas, reach to high schools, because like me, I didn't know anything about finishing when I got involved 42 years ago. And most people don't, whenever I give presentations, I always ask the room, I say, how many people in here, when they were in high school or college, wanted to get involved in the industrial finishing industry? And it's almost never does a hand go up unless it's somebody whose dad was a custom coder or owned a business and was involved. So people hadn't known about it. So we've got the outreach to the kids, and we're developing that curriculum to help them understand our industry and career opportunities. We are putting together an online training course that will start next year, and that'll be for people that are involved in the industry, whether end users or suppliers. And that's going to be a great program where we teach them on powder coating, pretreatment, system design. And then the overall long length program is the curriculum that'll be a 16-week course, 8 hours a day, hands-on classroom that will provide somebody the opportunity to leave that 16-week course and find them within the industrial finishing industry. So that's a lot of my focus. And then there's things that come up on a daily basis as well.
That's great. Thank you for talking about all of that in depth and in detail, because we are doing a lot of exciting things right now that are really important to bring younger people and more people into the industry. So thank you very much for that. One thing that you mentioned that I want you to expand upon a little bit is our peer group program. You and I have both been actively involved in that. And I think that's a program that over the last 2 years has been such a great benefit to our custom coaters. Just talk a little bit about what's involved in that.
Sure, it really is a great program, and it's I think for our custom coaters, if they're not involved, I can't understand why they wouldn't be. So we have 3 peer groups right now. There's 9 custom coaters in each one. They are non-competitors, and so they're spread out across the country. And in a typical year, we would meet twice a year at one of the host companies, and the other 8 custom coaters would go through, and we would spend a full morning in their facility and perform a very extensive audit of their operations. Everything from safety to efficiency to operation to equipment, just across the board. And it's been great for the people that host because they get very, very solid feedback on ways they can improve their business. But it's also been great for the people that come because they see things maybe they hadn't thought about doing before. It's a great program. These people are becoming friends. They become allies to each other, and they reach out to each other if they have a need or a question, and they'll get responses within 24 hours from all the other groups. And so it works out so well. And even during this year, a very unusual year, we've had very frequent communication with our groups. And they've continued to help each other, giving them ideas on how to deal with the COVID, whether it's through financial aid that might be available, and is it a good thing, is it a bad thing, how to work with employees, the issues that are coming up with it. It's been so positive that I just, again, strongly encourage anyone that is one of our custom coaters to take a real solid look at our peer group program.
That's great, because I've had the same experience with the program as you have, and it's really amazing how all of these companies in a group are willing to help each other out with anything.
We have one situation where one of the custom coaters had a pump go out on his pretreatment line, and the supplier told him it was going to take 6 weeks to get the replacement pump. And so he sent an email out to the group, and literally within hours, one of the members emailed him back and said, "Hey, I've got a buddy that's got that exact pump. He can have it shipped to you tomorrow." And so he got his line was down for 1 day, not 6 weeks. I mean, it was just incredible.
It is. It's a big benefit. That communication and that give and take is really, really valuable. And I really hope that this helps more custom coaters say, hey, I want to get involved with that. We are very close to starting a 4th group and then hopefully a 5th group. So Thank you very much for that input. What's been your favorite? It is fun. Let's also mention that it's very good business, but it's also fun. Tell us what's been your favorite part of working in the finishing industry.
Well, one, of course, is meeting all the various people that we work with, both as customers and suppliers. But one of the really neat things I've always enjoyed is getting into factories and seeing how everything from bicycles to lawnmowers to barbecue grills, motorcycles, automobiles, even locomotive engines, seeing how these things are manufactured and coated. And it's really fascinating, the overall manufacturing process. And what's fun for us is we're that final step. We're the step that gets to make all those products look good and last a long time. So I love just getting into seeing these plants and products being manufactured.
I'm with you. I've really enjoyed that over the years too. And I don't think people realize everything that's involved to make that product that you're using on a daily basis. And it helps identify better when you understand the whole process. So that's
And the
awesome.
other thing that's fascinated me too is when you hear how the volume of products that come out of plants. You know, that they're manufacturing 4,500 ovens out of one facility a day. And then you think that there's a number of facilities around the country, and where does all this stuff go?
But it does.
But it does. It absolutely does.
So we're going to switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about some of your favorite memories from CCAI events you've attended over the years, because we've both been to a lot of them. Do you have any favorite memories?
I've got many of them. The annual meetings have always been so much fun. I mean, it's always good material, good presentations are always informative and helpful. But the networking, the opportunity to just spend time with industry partners is a wonderful thing. We've made many friends over the years. You know, we were work buddies, but now we're just buddies, and it's a great thing. And so we involved our family early on with the CCAI annual meetings. And so Ashley and Jenny would come with us when they were small, and they grew up meeting these people that, you know, I work with and have become friends. And now my kids are grown, and it's been a great thing. I mean, I remember Mount Hood. We were out there because of CCAI, but I went fly fishing for the first time with my son-in-law in the Deschutes Canyon River. I mean, it was just a great thing. And so there's a lot of memories associated with the annual meetings. It was a great honor to receive the Lifetime Achievement Award, and that was awesome. So yeah, there's a lot of memories, even going back to that first presentation in West Michigan. So it's been great. It's been a great relationship with CCAI.
Excellent. And I think it's been a great relationship for all of us that have brought our families to those meetings. Certainly our kids got to be friends and are still friends today, and it becomes a lifelong thing. I do think we talk about CCAI being a family and a community, and I really believe that that's true
Right.
for all of us.
I think you're right. Yep.
What do you like to do away from work?
You know, again, it's a strange year. Jill and I like to travel. So Jill and I have been married 36 years, and we like to travel. When our 25th anniversary, we spent 11 days in Europe, just traveling around. We had a great time, and we would love, you know, to continue to start doing that when we retire at some point in time. And of course, our kids are grown. They have their own families. We've got 6 grandkids now, so that's a very fun thing to do, is to visit them, spend time with them. You know, there's those ages where they're just so sweet. Charles will turn 7 on Halloween, and it'll be the point, at some point we'll have Charles at 7, and then 6, 5, 4, and the twins will be 3. So they're just growing up so quickly, but and that's why it's important to get out and spend time with them now.
Couldn't agree more. In closing, is there anything else you want to say to the membership?
Well, I think for the most part, they probably know that I am a Cubs fan. And so I don't really need to probably go into a lot of detail on that. But I would say the one thing I would encourage everyone to do is to just get involved. It's a great association. The objectives are just exactly what our industry needs, is the education, the training of young people, bringing them into the fold. But get involved chapter level, get involved at the national level. However you do it, just get involved. And so that would be my last take of sharing information with the membership. So, and then of course, go Tampa Bay Rays.
Well, thank you.
Since the Cubs are not in
it. We appreciate that. And certainly, we can't thank you enough for your years of service, both to CCAI, the industry, to Goyer Management. You've been wonderful to work with all these years, and we hope that wherever life takes us, that it's good and everybody stays healthy, and know that we've appreciated all your efforts throughout the years. So thank you for being with us today, and I'm sure we'll be in touch again soon. Thank you, Bruce.
Thanks, Ann. Bye-bye.